Ever wondered how people's postcode lottery works? Easy. Your postcode is your ticket. And every weekday it gives you the chance to win £1,000 or £30,000 every weekend. And every month players in your postcode could win a share of £3 million. Join in at postcodelottery.co.uk/radio before midnight on the 23rd of July to play in the August draws. PPL manage lotteries on behalf of good causes. 16 plus. Conditions apply. Play responsibly.
That was a Ritual Spirit with Broken/Disappear. Excellent wee tune. There's, in fact, shouts to Jay for sending the tunes in from Reaction Management. There we go, stop that there. There we go. Right, we're ready to start.
Aye.
Hi. Alrighty, we're back live. As you can probably tell, we're live with Shaun Evans.
Hey.
Sean just shared that as well, I could see it. Thank you very much, Shaun.
Alright, man.
Much appreciated. How are you doing, son?
I'm good. Really good, actually. I almost feel guilty about how good I feel.
That's good. Well, I was going to say that's a bad thing, but...
It's conflicted. It's kind of good. Kind of
but we'll allow you to feel guilty for a wee while, so that should be alright. That should be fine.
Good.
So, basically, the last time we seen you, it was a housewarming party. I don't reckon how much we could talk about that night.
Oh, you can say what you want. I don't care.
Right. Well,
my mum was there.
See, you... Aye.
Talking about acid with your mum.
That was great.
Oh, no,
I
didn't do it. I've done the acid since, though.
Alright.
Yeah.
How did you get on with it?
Oh, it was great, man. It was I told you anyway, actually, I'm pretty sure, but it was, I think it wasn't as strong. It wasn't a really strong dose, but it was
No.
But
Which
was perfect, actually, to be honest.
A good starting point sort of thing. Because it was like when it was they were like a wee bit cheaper than normal sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, we'll get them anyway. We'll see how you get on sort of thing. But at least you can know that you can probably handle a bit more sort of thing.
What's the statute of limitations on this?
Well, I think we're alright. And that'll do. There you go. I think
Did you not put it in a
right,
birth certificate for you?
You did.
We did.
I fucking loved that.
That was a great wee touch, man.
And I had it like in the birthday card for like, well, it was about a month or two later. I actually got round to doing the acid, but I just loved it. It was in its wee like.
Is that a legit place to hide your drugs?
I thought it was
in a
fucking
birthday
great.
kit. The police aren't going to check in a birthday kit, do they?
Well, I was going about the period telling people. I was like, it goes, oh look what I've done for his birthday. This is fucking. I was like so proud of myself. It was so great. Fucking great wee thing.
It
man.
was, man. I appreciate that very much.
So how was the experience for you? Because I spoke about this last week. I did acid again a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I had a bad trip, which was fucking absolutely fucking awful.
Yeah.
So how was yours?
Well, mine wasn't a bad trip anyway. Actually, it reminded me a lot of mushrooms, which I expected, but different in a way that it was like, it lasted longer.
Aye, way longer. Right.
Yeah, way longer. And I don't know, like, I'm trying to remember now. It was really fun. So I had a couple of friends over. One of them that had done acid loads, and we were just watching some films and stuff, and then eventually, what I do remember is I was up till like 4 a.m. playing chess with my friend. And I was teaching her, I was kind of telling her how to play it, but I got totally locked into this whole like, oh, my granddad used to show me chess, and like he taught me how to play chess, and I don't know if there were memories or if I was just making them up. I'm not sure, but I got all these like kind of like these like analogies that were in my head, and I just started like telling them, explaining the chess rules, but also using them as analogies for life and advice, and they were fucking brilliant, by the way. I should have wrote them down, and I was just like, oh yeah, and it's kind of like how you can only move so far in life without affecting, blah blah blah.
One of these things,
So I just had like a really, really, really nice time, really introspective kind of. You know, it wasn't too visual, but I watched when I was watching a couple of films and that, it was quite like intense and stuff, and in a good way, you know. But
that's it.
It wasn't like tripping balls, but it was
How many
very
did you
high.
take? Was it just the one?
Just the one you had, aye.
You
Can't
gave me
mind
two.
how many.
I shared it with my friends. So we, one each. We done one each.
That's. I think you probably enjoyed. Well, if you're going to do it again at some point, you'll probably enjoy a bit more.
Yeah, totally.
We got stuff with the same guy, and this stuff was fucking way stronger, and we decided to bomb too. The thing is, I keep saying to him, I keep saying to him and his pals to fucking no take too much sort of thing, and then they go and take too much, and I'm like, oh, you're a fucking idiot, and like that. But on the night, he was like, just should we just take two? Like, I've got a few sitting there. I was like, aye, just went ahead, and I forgot how fucking intense it was for the first time, and I certainly never got anything like as vivid and like as visualised. Like, it was absolutely fucking mental. We were sitting watching Fantasia.
Oh man,
the
that's
90s,
a great
40s,
choice.
fucking great. But I got myself locked into a fucking. I seen a spider on the wall.
Oh yeah.
And that got me locked into a fucking absolute mental breakdown. And I gave in to death, which is a really horrible thing to do. I don't know if anybody's done that before, but fucking hell. But I didn't realise at the time. Craig explained to me sort of the day after that it must have been a panic attack sort of thing that I went through. Right. So having a panic attack during that point and just get in and saying, right, that's the end, sort of thing. And then I just hear him in the corner going, I was like, that brought me right fucking back at it. Crazy.
Wow.
He also had a fucking spider in his light bulb in the bathroom.
Oh, what?
I got a
That
picture
didn't
of
help.
What kind of trippy place is this? Fear and
The
Loathing.
acid house, man. That's the
So I was like,
That's a good film.
because it was like he had to like put me to my bed eventually,
Okay,
sort of thing. And fucking, I left a message was like, could you next time we do this, keep the spiders out your light bulbs, man?
To be fair though, they lights aren't very good for keeping insects out.
No, they're
Because
fucking horrible. The big
if
oval
they're-
things that are in the kitchen bathrooms, horrible things.
You look inside them, there's like loads of moths
Insect
and like,
traps.
Yeah, like a big cover.
And I've got no idea how you get them out. I
No,
reckon
you
how
just
you
have
get
to
them.
take the cover
See,
off.
You take, is that all that come off?
Oh, I don't know, I've not seen this light, but I'm just assuming. I mean, if it's went on, it's bound to be able to come off.
Aye. That makes sense.
Aye.
So so basically, after your birthday night, you went straight to Rome the next day.
That was my wee birthday present. to
How
myself.
difficult was that to get up hungover and get on a fucking plane?
Surprisingly easy for me.
Was
By
it?
the way, I didn't really get hangovers.
You bastard.
I know, a total bastard. I literally didn't get hangovers. I was still drunk as well, to be fair.
Then you were.
I got up. Funnily enough, like I say, my mum had been invited to my party, and she was still there. And so I got up. I just made myself some quick breakfast and left the house to my mum. There were still a couple of people that were leaving at that point. I can't mind if they left or no. I just fucked off. Just like, see you later.
I mean,
Fucking right.
I picked you and the other
3,
two
4,
guys
something
up
like
about 3 or 4 o'clock.
Possibly, aye.
So that was a fun trip.
Oh, aye, in the morning, aye.
Aye.
A trip through Dunfermline.
3 drunk people.
God, I want to
Awful.
kill all these, man.
And I ken how bad I am when I'm drunk as well.
Sober, really, I do like
They're well sober as well, aye, to be fair. I turn into like a pathetic child when I'm drunk, so like I want attention. And if I didn't get it, I just join in with laughter when they're not even talking to me. So it's really pathetic. I
It's
really
good
hate
that you
myself.
recognise that though. It's
Well,
like
that's, I no idea.
He doesn't though.
No, but
No, at the time. He doesn't
Nah,
recognise
did he?
anything.
he's
I know
aware.
it's at the
He's
date,
aware. He's
aye.
like.
Because there is times been like years ago when I've said to people, I've been like, listen, so I like apologise beforehand, and then afterwards, just to sort of catch everybody up. So that's usually the way I do things, at least anyway. But it's been good.
I think we all do weird things when we're drunk. To
Oh,
be
fuck
fair.
it.
I didn't really care what as I do when I'm drunk. Well,
You-
I'll lean at the sink to stop myself being sick for 4 hours. That's what I do.
Aye, that was the last time you were out. That was.
I do like that.
I can't imagine you enjoyed yourself that night.
Well, I had a blast until 11.
11
And then
when
I
it
was
was
just leaning against the cold water tap, just praying that I'm no sick. Because I've got like a vomit phobia thing. So I do like being sick.
Yeah.
So as soon as I feel nauseous, I'm like, oh no, this is not good. So it'll be about 11 o'clock, I'm done. So I can't really deal with drinking.
No.
Oh, you know what I've kind of realised over the lockdown. It's like I don't really like beer anymore. I don't. It's just shit. Like it just makes me all like fizzy and slow. And it does, and you have to drink a lot of it to get drunk.
Yeah,
and I'm
aye,
like,
aye.
why am I bothering with this shit when I've got whiskey in the cupboard? And then I end up drinking whiskey, and then I'm fucking pissed. I'm like, this is great.
Did you drink whiskey straight and stuff like that? You don't need to put water in it or fucking
On the rocks?
No,
Is it
on the rocks.
Sometimes I'll maybe put ice in it, but no, usually no. Just straight.
I can't do it. I'm a fucking
See, I
absolute
fucking
bitch.
Get a nice
Also,
whiskey.
I'm a bitch, yeah.
Get like a single malt.
See, I'm getting like like famous grouse or fucking whatever.
Oh, no,
you get off
fuck.
the. Nah, see.
Get
the bullshit from the-
They're not-
No,
they're
I
not
don't
wrong
buy
with
that
them,
either.
but-
That's pretentious pish tea. Because I've seen people. And I'm going to tell you for why. Because people do that with beer as well. They're like, oh, you've just not had a good beer. You need a dark beer. Like Guinness. No, you fucking didn't need a dark beer. You need to put all the beer in the bin. That's what you need to do.
Aye.
Because I've tasted Guinness, and folks say, oh, it's got a chocolatey note. It fucking doesn't it? You're a fucking liar.
It tastes a wee bit like coffee as well.
Oh,
I think,
does
you know,
it?
like
Aye.
coffee notes,
Burnt
and
coffee.
aroma of chocolate, and
Aroma of pish. Garbage. Fucking
treacle.
liar.
I get treacle as well. No, sometimes if it's warm.
And fuck anybody likes carling.
Oh no, didn't
Just
no.
What?
no. Oh no, that's what I'm saying. I hate it. Like it's
You,
rubbish.
so you didn't like
doesn't like it.
Guinness either?
No, I love Guinness.
Doesn't like beer.
But I'm now kind of off the beer though. I'm like, I say kind of
So you
because I
damn a
decided this
fucking
yesterday.
Oh, just yesterday. Oh, right, I thought it was like a.
At the weekend there, I had a couple of bottles, and I was doing some work in my garden actually, with my pals. We were doing some joinery and that. So, I had been working hard and I thought, I'm going to have a beer at the end of the day. And I was just on my own, but I just had a couple of bottles of beer and then it just made me feel like shit. Like, I didn't even get drunk off it. I felt kind of relaxed, I guess. But then I also felt kind of depressed and like full of gas. And I was just like, oh man, this is bad shit.
Anything that you anything you have to put at the top of the beer, tons and tons of bubbles. There's no fucking point in it, basically. It's just absolute
I
stomach.
think that's where the capitalist system has ruined us. Because
how did you get from that to that?
Because here's why. In pints of beer, it's not a pint of beer. It's about 495 mils
That's a good
of
point.
beer.
Aye, totally.
And then it's a fucking head. Bullshit, where's the rest of my beer? Get the head away, you fuck.
Do you know wish that
Get the beer in.
the bartenders have been learning to pull a pish beer? So you've not got that head.
Aye, they didn't even tip it to the side, they're just like
they're
flat on.
literally taught to give you air in the top of your beer, like loads of it as well.
This might be this might be a subconscious commentary on your local pubs.
Aye, fuck the
You're
local
calling
pubs
it,
as well.
by the way, because I'm thinking, well, I've been at plenty of pubs where they didn't do that, and plenty of pubs where they do.
Aye, like the heat's about this big.
It just depends
the
who's
pipe there.
serving you, and some pubs are worse.
If somebody likes you, I guess they'll do a proper pint.
Probably, aye.
Just no do it properly. Just
Aye.
put it at the side, right in the bottom. just honestly, get the worst pourers you can find, and then they're the best people.
Speaking of beer, I kind of like beer, but tenants to help, like, pubs are doing a free pint, so you may as well. You may as well just get one.
That's the other
Again,
thing.
tenants is the worst pint ever.
Get a free tenants. It's like, well, fuck that. I
That's
don't
usually
mind
my
tenants, but I hate this whole thing where everybody's like, in fact, there are probably people listening right now going, oh, what, fuck, he doesn't like tenants, that's disgrace and that. It's like, no, fuck you, mate, it's piss water.
No,
it's
it's
absolutely
piss water.
disgusting.
But it's free.
But I'll
so
drink it if it's going. No, I'm not a fucking fussy person.
It's my first go-to. Well, like when I'm out DJing a lot of the time, it's usually my first go-to thing because it's like smooth. And I didn't really like beer anyway. Yeah. But it's the sort of fact to just like...
It's the least offensive beer, I feel.
It's the fact
easy
to drink.
It's the fact to sort of sit in the back with a beer.
It's better than Carlin.
It's significantly better than Carlin. God.
I've had a few nights where that's been like on the menu all night. And it's been fucking terrible.
That shit just makes me feel like... Makes me feel sick as soon as it... No, Foster's I feel like is in the same league as tenants.
I
could get through Foster's... shit, but it's... but is it Beck's? It's just
Beck's,
like
maybe.
sour.
Stella's not really like Stella either.
Stella's fucking shit as well. But I think Beck's is the one that really makes me want to throw up in cunts' faces, man.
You ever tried that? Is McEwen's lager like a Guinness? I've never tried it before. Is it like... is it a different thing?
I like the guy on the front of it though.
Because it always looks like it would be a dark beer because of that guy in the front. I've always thought,
it is.
For some reason.
I can't remember. I've not really drank that much, but it's like a total old man's beer for my recollection.
Have you ever tried one of the super lagers?
Oh, but actually, here's the thing. In Italy, so like you mentioned, I went to Rome after my birthday. That's what they drink over there, super tenants. Now, if you've ever had super tenants...
Were they all homeless?
Well, no, that's the thing. Like, over here, it's like, homeless people drink that. But over there, that's literally what they all drink. Like, you can go about the streets, and there's just like these wee kiosks just selling super tenant. Or they're selling other beer as well, but I was just walking by the streets, being like, I have a super tenants, bottle of super tenants. 9%, man. Absolute astonishing shit.
Well, that's... If you think about the value for money...
Does it taste alright?
Aye, it's fine.
Better
than normal tenants.
If you think
that's because you can't taste anything at that point.
If you think of the value for money you get for a super tenants compared to like a tenants,
aye, totally.
It's fucking... Was it like £2 or something for one of the beers? That's like 9%, possibly like 5 units or something like that as well, like per beer.
Oh, it's crazy stuff.
It's ridiculous, man. No wonder they drink it because it's fucking cheap and it gets you.
Aye, they love it over there.
But it might not be that cheap now here.
I'm not sure about here.
Oh no, shit. But
See,
again, it's a thing I've never touched. Really.
I've never bought it in Scotland because they want to be a jakey. But when I'm in Italy, I'm a tourist.
Oh yeah, I get the same feeling when I go to like a house party and I hate Bucky. Some house parties you're alright because you can they're all scum.
Aye.
But I've been to some house parties
and
then you go in.
Through to Shaun's, didn't you?
No, it was fine at Shaun's. Shaun's scum is what Shaun's like us.
The fucking thing in way are like a mixture of scum and real people.
That's an illusion.
That was the weird thing.
That's what you think. They're all scum. If you're all listening, it's true.
It was actually Ron's party I was talking about. That was awful.
Oh, aye. See,
that was
scum
it.
as
Was
well.
that the one I was at?
Aye.
Yes, aye.
That was good.
I felt like a fucking absolute mink when I went in with my buckfast.
Oh, right, aye.
And I felt awful the whole night. Just self-conscious and that. I was like, oh no, I'm a dirty scumbag. Like
well, I felt much better after I saw the fucking pitiful disgrace that he called a buffet.
Yes.
Wasn't happy about that at all. I still, every time I see him, I'm like, that was shameful.
Macaroni cheese with crumb round
really
it and that.
shameful.
Scampi. Was there no scampi in the...
No, it was like the big prawn
Aye,
things.
that was it,
But they're
prawn.
fucking, I like them.
To be honest, I'm easily pleased. I was like, oh, food, but you're right, it was so weird.
Fucking sausage rolls, chicken wings, sandwiches.
Aye.
Done.
So I need.
Cocktail sausages.
Some
you
crisps.
can buy some. Aye. That's all you need. I didn't want his dad done a great buffet.
Oh, yeah.
Actually.
Oh, that was a full-on scum buffet. That was great.
Aye.
His dad's a punk as well, so he's used to like the absolute scum buffets.
That was his birthday present. Was that some of his pals
Half a
done his
pork
buffet.
pie and that.
It was like you're like half a pork pie, a tuna sandwich, no meal, just a bit of tuna on it,
Aye.
some ham chucked on, no butter, just brilliant. Like just plain drumsticks, no flavouring on them. It was amazing. Some
Everything's
salt maybe.
so dry.
Oh, it's brilliant. I love it.
Oh, it's great.
You got a pint of shit beer and like a
That's not the buffet's fault. That's the pub.
No, I'm saying that was like the perfect pit is you've got shit beer and then you've got a buffet that everybody else thinks is shit, but I love.
Maybe like a lipstick print round the glass and that before you have a drink. That's my favourite. Like I love that shit. That's always good. But you can when it's a true scum buffet when they've cut the pork pie into 4 bits.
Aye.
That's when you can.
So you need to grab 4
like the tiny wee ones.
Aye. They cut the wee mini melting mulberries. That's what you call them. They cut them into 4, and they fucking they have to like. You're like, you only load one at a time. I went to a pity one day, and it was an absolute scum buffet, and they put out couscous in a bowl.
I minded
Fucking,
that.
I thought it was a fucking bowl of breadcrumbs before I had to ask
how
somebody.
much of that was left at the end of the night.
Oh yeah,
100% of it.
Like everybody else is away. It's like these people that put out cheese and onion sausage rolls, man.
I didn't mind them, to be fair. But
Oh, Shaun.
but you've got to be tactical about what you're eating because you're like, well, if I eat that, nobody's got to talk to me for the rest of the night.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
It's all the
Perfect.
garlic bread. Garlic bread's like the worst thing to put out for everybody.
But
That's what
No,
happens.
something
Can't
you see
resist
a lot of buffets.
Garlic bread is
actually.
good though. Yeah.
It's not, like we've done a lot of gigs, so we're like experts on the buffet, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because like last year we had a gig or 2 every week, so it was like a buffet every week. Oh, mate, love December, love
Sounds
November, all that time.
We
Brilliant.
DJ'd and Windygate's Bone Club. Shout out to them. I would love to just remember the name of the people. It was
Love
a
a
wedding.
buffet,
It was a wedding thing. They had a cold buffet, and then later on they had like a hot buffet. The cold buffet was absolutely fucking massive. There was only about 100 people there, but they made the spread for about 200. There was the whole fucking like hall type room thing was filled, and then they had a buffet afterwards. So there was like, they done macaroni, soup, stovies, all your fucking curries and all that shit.
fucking right.
It's amazing.
Oh, mate, I love DJing.
The back, and also it would have been back before social distancing,
Yes.
so it would have just been a total free for all. None of this like mask wearing and gloves and all that. Just fucking grab the food.
I'm not sure what a gig's going to be like.
I honestly,
Buffets are not going to be on the table anywhere, are they? Let's be honest, are they?
Nah.
you're going to get gigs coming up. This is what's going to happen, right? I can tell you straight away. The way people have been at pubs now, you could tell they're going to start booking parties quite soon. So they're going to ask me to go to a party and expect me to sit with fucking like maybe 100 people. None of them are distancing themselves whatsoever, and it's just going to be an absolute fucking free for all. So I guarantee that's what's going to happen.
That's not going to be happening for a good month or 2 though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Maybe 3.
But there's going to be
Because they're
loads
opening the pubs, but they're not allowed to open the
the actual the venue bits.
venue bits.
Aye, it's all. Well, I've not been to a pub yet, but a few of my friends have, and it's all like crazy, like booking tables and keeping distance and all that. You know what I mean? It's like, well, the thing I'm thinking about is like I've now got no real desire to go to a pub because I didn't go to the pub for the alcohol. Obviously, that is a factor,
for the interaction,
but I could buy better and cheaper alcohol at a shop and go and have a party at my house.
And you could pull your pint rubbish as well.
Exactly.
Which is great.
I'm shite at pulling pints. I get the whole experience at my house, you know. And like, this thing is like, why would I now go to a pub? Because the only reason I went before was for the social interaction. You go, you meet random people, you bump into old friends, or there's a gig on, or you know what I mean. There's something happening. There's loads of people. It's exciting. Whereas nowadays, I'm assuming I wouldn't even be able to mingle with people or talk to people that I know but I haven't turned up with. You know what I mean? I'll be like, oh, there's them over there. I'll Facebook message them or something. You know what I mean?
But I think as long as you wear a mask, you're allowed to be a metre away from people.
Right. Okay.
Once pubs open, so like the 15th that starts.
I mean, a metre's enough to hear a conversation. To be honest, I think they should keep the 2 metre rule, because that's how many times have you been spat in the face when you've been talking to somebody at a pub?
Aye.
To be honest,
The 2 metre rule would have been great years ago.
Once you're in a pub with drunk people, the 2 metre thing doesn't matter.
It's going to be a way.
No, but even if they didn't introduce it in pubs, it's not going to make a difference. People are spitting when they talk, and if somebody's got COVID, they're trying to have a drink. They've not got their mask on because they're trying to drink. Then they spit when they talk. You're getting COVID now.
Yeah.
Like, the 2 metre thing doesn't mean anything at that point.
I take it we're keeping the virus updated on the new rules as well. We're like, right, we're reducing it to 1 metre, so just like, you can get closer, but then you get too close. You know?
But that's what I mean.
The virus is like complying, right?
And the thing with the skills in that as well, they're like, Hainahong split up into different areas, and there's big fucking visors between bairns, and bairns aren't allowed to play with each other properly, and
I've seen some tragic pictures, like parents take pictures at scale. The kids like in the line waiting to go in, and they're all like 2 metres apart, and they're all unable to fucking speak to each other because they're so far away. Yeah. So I'm wondering what it's like at dinner time and shit when they're not able to speak. They have to go out and
they didn't hate dinner time.
They can play hopscotch. I imagine they could do hopscotch. What the fuck else are they going to be able to do?
But they're only there part of the day. They didn't hate breaks.
I'm just laughing. I'm just thinking, like, oh yeah,
like what games could
like,
be doing?
Scuba's definitely clued up on the kids of today. You're like,
no,
you're like, I mean, they'll still have hopscotch, right? So they're all right with that. They'll still have that wee loop thing, you know, with the running loop, and they run with the stick and they hit the loop, and it. I think we've had that since Victorian times.
Do they still play
hand tennis? Do they still do hand?
Do they still play kick the can and fucking kick the bottle about the shelter and shit?
I think everybody's...
What's the time, fucking Mr. Wolf and all that shit? Are they still doing that?
Game.
Oh, surely they still do that. That's ridiculous.
Still doing it. Surely.
I actually didn't think they do.
No.
I think maybe they maybe download What's the Time, Mr. Wolf on their DS, but I doubt they'll on their iPhone. Sorry.
Aye.
You're going to need to ask Darren what Kaelin and that does at the skill.
Aye, it's good. Aye, I can't. That's all I can imagine them doing. I can't imagine them all sitting on their
playing
phones,
computer games and
playing computer. I can't imagine them doing that, but it seems like they might be.
I don't know.
I used to fucking love like playing Bulldog and that, even at primary scale, like primary 6 and
Bulldog
7.
was the shit, man.
Playing Bulldog, it's just brutal, just spearing
so
each
Big
other.
fucking no.
Like
Such a violent game.
At my primary, they banned Bulldog. They were like, right, you're not playing that anymore. Too many people have gotten hurt. And then, like, the next day, we were playing a game, and they were like, well, I thought we told you we've banned this game, and we were all just like everybody was like, no, this is Bullfrog. And then they're like, alright, okay. And then the next day they're like, right, we're banning Bullfrog as well. And then we're like, okay, we're going to play a game called Tombstone. And then it was the same game. This went on for months.
I just remember being like big, like massive wrestling brawls and shit on the scale.
Yeah.
And then they sort of try and stop us from doing it. And then you'd go into like Red Rover and all that shit, and fucking, it's just, you have to do the brutal games.
What the fuck is Red Rover?
I was Red Rover. Is that like Bulldog?
I think it's just a different name. I think
people running at each other and hitting
basically,
each other. I can't even remember the rules of Bulldog. I just remember it was brutal. Like,
it was fucked up.
Two lines of people running, and
the one thing I remember about Bulldog is that I was always fucking picked because I couldn't run because I was fat, so it was easy for folk to get past them. Bullshit.
So
by the rules of Bulldog, if you want to remember this, is one person's hate.
Mm-hmm. Hate. Right? Aye, hate.
One person's hate.
One for the Americans.
Aye. And then they have to pick somebody to go across. So generally, you pick somebody that's slower and weaker than you, so that you can catch them. Yeah. And then both of you are in the middle. Yeah. And then you have to pick somebody else, and then you have to try and knock somebody out. But if they get to the air end, the whole team gets to go right across then you've got the whole fucking massacre of cunts coming towards you, and you get to just try and grab one.
Yeah.
So you're diving about trying to fucking poo somebody on the ground. It used to be touch. If you touched them, they were in. We didn't like that.
Nah, it was like rugby tackle.
The ground, aye.
And then
that
it was
much more fun.
Well, he's no bleeding yet, so he's obviously no being caught.
He's not been participating enough.
It's like,
Really
unless he's getting carried off in an ambulance
Oh,
in
yeah.
a stretcher.
Then what's the point in him being there? Sort of
Exactly,
thing.
yeah.
Ah.
Did you just play Manhunt? Didn't you?
Oh man,
Manhunt was the shit.
I didn't grow up in Legion, but yeah.
Did you know?
In the Weems I grew up.
On the
Oh,
wings,
used to play
right.
Hunt.
So that's how you can Daniel Sloss. I thought you just knew him for the high school.
I was at no, I wasn't at high school. I was
Oh,
at
name
primary-
drops.
All right,
I was at primary school.
Name drop.
You have to.
Some
you
of the
have
kids
to-
Daniel
you know,
Sloss.
No, I went to primary school with him.
Right.
He played Bulldog with me.
Shit, did you
Yeah,
murder him? Did you murder him in that?
He was so easy to pick up and throw because he was so small and
Such
skinny.
a tiny boy. That's it.
He's not changed much, is he?
He has actually.
Is
He's quite.
I was
quite
just trying
buff
to
these
insult-
days, actually. To be quite honest.
Oh shit, right.
Yeah, I'm keeping it that way because he'll probably batter me by now.
You know, see, he done the first comedy gig
First stand-up gig in the UK. Yeah.
after, well, since the COVID thing happened.
It was
They
a
done
drive-through.
Oh shit!
Thing.
Yeah,
Aye.
So they had a big stage up and like a camera was watching, and
cool.
they just turned a parking space to the side, and so everybody came in and drove in and just stared at the.
They had
That's
it was
awesome.
like
Pretty cool.
it was all done like via like some radio signal, similar to like your transmitter thing in the car, like Bluetooth thing.
Oh yeah.
So they have it in their cars and fucking so he's able to talk to them, and they would peep their horns to show that they were enjoying the show or whatever. So
That's
so
the
weird.
future, man.
That's the future, man.
Everybody
That's
turning
what
up
they've
in their
been
wee
doing it in
bubbles.
America since they sort of allowed.
Oh, it's became
allowed people to go to
huge in
Texas and
America,
shit,
aye.
aye.
Really?
You can't really do gigs in it because a lot of folk like to get pissed at gigs, and you can't really do that if you're sitting in your car.
Yeah.
So
Designated driver though.
The comedy store, the comedy store in LA.
fuck that shit.
They done their first show yesterday. It was a Kill Tony podcast, and they just sort of done it on the sort of main show flare, and they just streamed it out to the car park. Like they sort of turned the car park into like a beer garden, and it was just weird. It was like there's no laughter at this comedy show, and
I
everybody's
like
just
what
outside.
Jason Manford's doing now.
The stand up live, that thing is
Every Thursday night, so he does like a Zoom thing,
aye.
and he picks, what was it, like 20 people get to pay VIP.
So
and they
100,
to
you
be
get
in-
100 in the Zoom thing.
Was it 100? I can, but I'm saying a certain amount get to pay VIP,
All right.
and then they get to be in the front row.
Aye.
So occasionally you'll hear them laughing,
Right.
and it'll sort of pan to them as if to like as a film,
As
and
if
you
there were
see somebody in the
crowds.
front crowd, aye.
Yeah.
And then he'll do that occasionally. So it'll only be like 10, 20 people, and then the other 100 are just there,
Watching, aye.
just watching. And occasionally he'll put some of their things on just to see what's happening.
Aye.
So that's pretty cool. So you can still hear some laughter. You can still hear
Still
people
in
talking
a
to each other.
crowd type thing.
Aye. It's a bit weird, and it's a bit too scripted for me. It annoys me sometimes, the beginning bits. But I like it. I'd
It's the
prefer
issue with like
real shows though.
aye. It's the issue where you maybe hear like somebody's dog barking, and it's like quite over the top, like loud,
Aye, well,
or
he
like a
said
bear
that.
no greeting stuff like that.
I
But it
think
says
the first week there was a lot of that happening, and he was like, second week, get rid of your fucking dogs, get rid of your bairns.
Aye.
If there's going to be any of that shit happening,
You're out.
you're out. like didn't buy one if you think that might be happening, because it fucking ruins. You didn't hear that in a real gig, like a dog barking, and just
So,
let's be realistic about this.
aye, that's it.
So I appreciate that. I had Harry Hill on last week.
Aye. I don't
You know,
I've seen that, aye.
Harry Hill used to be a doctor.
aye, yeah.
Aye. So apparently, every doctor got a letter about signing up
Oh,
to
in
during
case the
the
NHS
COVID
needed
thing.
them, sort
Aye.
of thing.
And he was like, "But I was only like a trainee doctor, and I hadn't really worked since the 90s. So I was like, I'm not going to bother because I'm useless." But then he had a few drinks one night. He was like, "Oh fuck it, I'll just fucking sign up." And then they got in contact with him and they went through the questionnaire and that, and they offered him a position in the Nightingale Hospital.
Oh my god.
He was like, oh no, I can't do that. Like, I can't do that. So I didn't kind of go out with that, but
I know. I think he said he was on like he was like on the north side of London. It was on the south side, and he was like, "Oh, it's a bit of far travel for me." So he was able to get out.
That would have been hilarious.
Oh,
Imagine
I just-
him being your doctor. Eh? Like,
Him with that big fucking shirt coming in.
I reckon you could take that. You couldn't take that seriously.
He's madness, man. So COVID has pretty much taken over the fucking. Not even pretty much, it has taken over the fucking world. It's pretty much ruined lives.
But it killed
Changed.
a bunch of
Changed
people's
at
lives.
least.
oh, it's ended a lot of lives,
Aye.
isn't it?
Aye.
500,000 or something.
Is it
dead.
That's what is it now? Fucking hell, crazy.
Something like that, and it's still going.
But Scotland's doing really well. Scotland's hardly been hit on this sort of second part here. We're doing pretty fucking well. So
Especially Fife. I keep getting sort of regularly updated by David Alexander. He sent me a bunch of the stats. So David Alexander's like the leader of the council. So he sent me a bunch of the stats.
Name drop.
Name drop.
A shitty one like the
I'm the leader of the council. Nah. So anyway, he sent me that, and it looks quite good. I think there's been like 900 and odd deaths, like altogether.
That's good.
So,
That's sounds like
strange
900
when you
people.
put it like that.
I said that.
I know what you mean.
I actually said that to him as well. I said, "Oh, that looks good."
Like,
I was like, "No, I didn't mean good, but you know what I mean."
aye, that's a positive result.
That is a.
Aye, I mean, it could have been loads more.
That could have been worse. That's how I'm going to word it from now.
That's basically
that could have been worse.
Aye, probably better than just going. That was good.
That's a great result. 1,000 people are dead. Yes.
Well happy with that. That's it's a wrong one. But aye, it's been fucking mental, man. How have you been dealing with it? Because you're in how many bands are you in at this point?
I was in. I think it was just the one active band, and I was in the middle of like putting a band together just when it was all kicking off. Actually,
Another one.
Well, like,
hell, son.
I'd been kind of working on for a bit. Actually, I had a few songs there, and I got. I had a drummer. I was jamming with him, and I got like a female singer and a keyboard player, and I had a jam with them, kind of separately, but never together. And then. Yeah, so I was just in the one band in Cornfield Chase. So we actually played our last gig just like 4 days before the lockdown. Probably the last gig that was played in Kirkcaldy. I don't know if that's confirmed, but
I'd claim that.
Just going to claim that.
Just
Continue with that at the Wheat Sheaf. So that was really cool. Getting to like play a gig, and then it was like, oh well, this is never happening again, probably. So it's actually been really good for me though, to be honest. The thing is. And it was like totally unrelated, but very well timed. Just before that, I'd been basically I had a lot of unfinished shit, like unfinished projects and stuff, like all these like my own stuff, like own recordings and albums and stuff that I'd been working on and blah blah for years. And I was like getting to that point where I'm kind of like sick of pissing about with other people's stuff. No, really. I mean, I really enjoy working with other musicians. And I do my label thing. It's good fun, but I don't know. It was draining me. It was too much. And so for the last couple of years, anyway, I'd been winding down a lot of stuff and just kind of concentrating on having fun with it again and just doing my own shit and trying to finish up the projects that I've got done. So it eventually transpired with the studio that I had in Leslie, just at the start of the year there. Bit of change of circumstances happened, and I thought about it. I thought about what I was going to be doing going forward, because I was paying rent on that place every month, and this is before lockdown. So like, you know, I didn't even consider lockdown being a factor, and I decided to leave the studio in Leslie because I thought, well, the money I'm spending on the rent at the studio in Leslie, I could actually spend on doing up my own home studio, because I've got the space for it now in my house that I moved into last year. I've got like, well, you've seen it, the summer house in my shed. I'm going to soundproof them, get drum kit set up in the shed and that. And I've already got the spare room set up like a wee home studio, and that looks out to the garden where the summer house and the shed is. So that's kind of my idea. And I thought, wait, if I'm spending money on this other studio that, you know, obviously belongs to somebody else at the end of the day, it was a no-brainer to me. So I was like, you know what, actually, I'm just going to... I was a bit sad because I'd been there for like 5 years. It was such an amazing space.
So great studio space. Man.
Yeah, it is great. So, you know, if anybody's looking for a studio space, I reckon get in touch. I'll put you in touch with the guy. It's great, but it just made sense to me to like make my own place. So I was actually in this really lucky position where lockdown happened. I had my entire like studio recording equipment all set up in my house, and there was fuck all else going on, and I just had this opportunity to like finish off like loads of projects and like get stuff done and like, you know, just enjoy recording music and working on stuff, and it was good fun. Like,
and you were better off money wise because you weren't spending
that as well. So and also I was still working as well because my work. Well, I was a key worker.
Right.
And so I was.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, you are welcome. So I was going into the office and for the first couple of months, and now I'm working from home. So now I just work at home anyway, and it's, I don't know, everything's kind of worked out really well for me. And I'm just being like, you know what, I feel a wee bit guilty, because for me this has actually been amazing. I've been kind of like, on a personal level, I've been really wanting some isolation. I don't know why. It's maybe not healthy, but I wanted to like follow that through. I was like, well, I definitely keep coming back to that thought process of, you know what, I wish everybody would just kind of fuck off. Like, not in a bad way. Like, I know I love all my friends, I love yous all.
That's your life.
Yeah,
everybody fuck off, please.
At the same time, I was like, it would be kind of great if I wasn't busy all the time. Like, you know, I was doing so much crazy, like so much stuff, and working full time, and then doing the label and doing the studio and doing the bands, and then, you know, hanging out with different people and that. It was getting a bit much. So the lockdown was a fucking massive, like, it was just a great relief to me. It was actually like, holy shit, well, Shaun, you have been saying this for the last couple of years. I could just do with just some time where the world just stops for like a wee while, so we could all just like chill out. And then it arrived, and I was like, well, you better not fucking moan about it then. You might as well crack on.
Well, this is like, we were speaking to a rapper on Tuesday there, shouts to Kinetic. He had basically used this time to get into like music marketing. Podcasting, doing like artwork and stuff like that, and doing mixing and mastering, like learning and basically starting his own. I think he's going to start doing his own label at some point as well. He's talking about as well. So he's basically went and done everything that you need in the music business sort of thing. So it's been perfect for him.
Yeah,
just that fucking 2 or 3 months.
Totally.
And there's like people like doing like diplomas and stuff like that. Like the Open University has had like a massive upsurge.
Yeah,
as well. Loads of people just doing like really short courses and getting stuff done. So
that's great. I love this. Like, cool. I remember posting that like near the start of lockdown. It was just a wee stupid post I put up because I went to Aldi's and I buy flowers for my like vase in the living room, whatever. That's just what I do. But when I went to Aldi's, they were just giving the flowers away because. Lockdown. I don't know why they were just giving them away because I guess they assumed nobody was going to buy them or something. I don't know. I was like ready to buy them, like, oh, these are free. I'm like, fine. And then so I just posted on Facebook like, oh, I got these free flowers, positive lockdown story. And I was kind of joking at the time, but then I was like, actually no, I like this. Like, I get it. There's a lot of bad shit happening, and I'm not saying ignore that. It's like it's terrible what's happening. A lot of people are being fucked over by this whole thing and lost a lot of money, but at the same time, like, you know, let's celebrate all the good things. Like, for example, the number one good thing, the environment. You know, it's like this is basically what we've been screaming for. Like, the environment's been screaming for like a wee break for years, fucking decades, centuries maybe. And it's like now we're just. It's suddenly actually really easy to do it. It's like, oh wait, we could have done this ages ago. It's like, yeah, we could have. It wasn't that great. Wasn't it actually quite easy to make people work from home? It was actually. That was so unnecessary for us all to congregate in this big office building and use all the facilities in there when we've already got the same materials and facilities at home and individually. So it's like a doubling up of like resources. You know what I mean? It just didn't make sense to me. I was like, why am I driving to work when I could just walk into my bedroom and switch on a computer, you know what I mean?
Well, so you noticed how quickly though some companies have just totally disregarded what we've just learned.
Oh, well,
I start coming back into the office.
Come back straight away, sort of thing. Aye.
Why? Like, surely even it would benefit them as well. They need to pay as much rent.
Yeah, they're not
get smaller space.
Overheads will be down because they're not like paying for their building and stuff and the maintenance. And then obviously they're not going to affect that as the people who have the jobs, like the maintenance people and the cafeteria staff. If there's a cafeteria in the building, fair enough. That's the knock on. But it's like, well, really, that just to me makes me realise that there's too many humans doing the one job. There's too many. That, like, it's not a matter of money and things. Like, money shouldn't even fucking matter. It's just like, well, if that's not necessary anymore for people to get together in this building and just run this building, then we can use their like manpower for something more productive. And like these people can now actually just like, go and enjoy life somewhere, you know. But obviously that's not the way the capitalist system works. So.
Do you think
man after one heart?
Do you find like you've enjoyed your work better since being at him as well?
I mean,
you miss people you work with and stuff like that, obviously. But obviously, like just being in the comfort of your own home, being able to go and everything, and maybe not having to meet the dickheads that you don't like at work, sort of thing. Yeah. That is a lot fucking better as well. So I'm sure a lot of people are getting on better.
You're right. I do. I enjoy it more actually. I do. Right. I found it easier at first, and then I started getting distracted a wee bit, but I've curbed that a bit. I've realised what
I can imagine that would happen a lot. Like
the pornography's right there,
right there.
It's like, it's in my pocket on my phone. Nah, like it is that. Like not just porn, but like just getting distracted by your phone, and you're just like, I'll just sit and look at my phone for a wee bit, and you're like, no,
got a YouTube video on
what's the point? Because then you end up rushing to get your work done. But no, the good thing as well, because we're so like super connected these days, it's like you're on video chats with people you're working with and that in the office and that, which. It's not the same. It isn't the same. I do miss the banter.
I feel like that would annoy me though.
Because
there's a certain point, like in an office, there's times when you could actually just sit and do the shit, and there's nobody there. Whereas if I'm on video constantly, like I can't just relax and get on with the work. I'm constantly aware of people being able to see me constantly.
Well, we don't do that. We don't sit and look at each other.
No,
it's like you would arrange a wee meeting, and then for like 20-30 minutes just sit and talk to each other on videos and that. And then,
right.
Yeah, and then apart from that, we've got like a group chat thing on Microsoft Teams, and I just post loads of GIFs and jokes into that. People would like try to talk about their like work in that in serious ways, and I'm just like I'm trying to give them the real experience of what like would have been if I was actually in the office with them, where I'm just talking shit all the time, so I'm trying to keep the morale,
That's the best thing. That's the best thing. Right, well, we get into an air tune.
Well, we should have gotten an air tune 15 minutes ago.
But I didn't like stopping these conversations. I'm alright stopping like fucking like when we've got somebody on the phone, we can at least control that. But I like these mental conversations. We just lead into just absolute fucking mentalness.
Right, let's get
so we'll get into a wee tune, and in fact we'll play your tune, Shaun, since I've got it up here.
Oh, nice one.
This Riverside Blues from the White Feather album on Bloo Records Bandcamp.
Recorded in lockdown.
Excellent. So that like fairly recently, I take it.
I just did that at my home over the last couple of months.
May the 15th. There you go.
Yeah.
Right, this is Riverside Blues. Here we go.
Riverside Blues. Nothing to do but stay deep into the water. Riverside Blues. Looking at you, I see the reflection of my mind. If hate has made you blind, in the river you can find tranquility from your sin and a new place to begin. If hate has made you blind, in the river you can find tranquility from your sin and a new place to begin. Riverside Blues. Nothing is new when you can't move an inch. Riverside Blues. It all went askew when we heard what you were saying. If hate has made you blind, in the river you can find tranquility from your sin and a new place to begin. If hate has made you blind, in the river you can find tranquility from your sin and a new place to begin. Riverside Blues. Riverside Blues.
Radio voice. That was Shaun Evans with Riverside Blues.
Oh, thanks, Craig.
Man, I only can't clapping.
Yes.
Give the boy a clap, he's a fucking key worker.
Honestly, no, it's a first.
It's Thursday.
It's almost
You're right, it does deserve that. Is it,
Did you do the clap?
Well, actually, what happened, right? I wasn't aware. I didn't really I didn't watch telly. So they watch the news. I reckon what's going on. I didn't give a shit, right? And then it was like
I don't give a fuck.
The first time it happened, though. No, I do give a fuck, right? And I'm well done. You know, people are fucking doing shit and that. And I was a key worker as well, so I was just busy in my own life and my own wee world. Anyway, it came to that first Thursday night when it happened. I was actually in my living room playing my guitar, and I was just like, you know, going for it. And I'd come up with this like wee tune, and I was just like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I got to like another wee bit in the tune that sped up, and just as I sped it up, like my neighbours started clapping and that and like cheering, and I was totally like, holy shit, they must be listening to me. I was like, oofed. I was like, what the fuck? And then it went on for like about a minute or two, and I was like, wait a minute. Nah, what's going on? They're taking the piss. Like, they're actually taking the piss. And so I was at my window, and then I heard like people shouting and stuff in the street, and I actually got really concerned. I was like, what the fuck's going on in my street? Like, I closed the blinds. I was thinking the police were about to turn up and that. I was waiting for the sirens and that. And then it just sort of clicked, and I was like, oh wait, yeah, no, I remember somebody talking about some kind of like clapping thing for the NHS, and so I totally forgot. And then the same happened the next week, except I knew what it was when it happened. I was like, oh wait, is that happening right now? Oh yeah, fuck. So after that, I just thought, well, if I join it now, it's going to be a bit awkward. I'm just fucking.
Well, we joined in week 3, so we started.
No, it was week. Maybe it was week 3.
That was week
I was
3,
clapping in my heart, you know.
Well, we missed week 1 based on the fact we're like, nobody's going to do it.
That was the assumption in our street. Nobody's going to do it. So
they might be the only ones.
Aye.
Well,
Hey, and all kinds of like, well, you're a fucking idiot.
all cunt was it was amazing, and then fucking.
But then it did steadily get like bigger. Like it's like all the kids
crazy,
trying to outday each other, and then we won because we've got the best speakers.
That was great.
So we went outside one. It was hot.
This was a clap night, wasn't it?
Aye, it was a clap night. It was also somebody's birthday, and so it was across the road's birthday. And so we thought,
Craig, man.
Fuck it, we've seen videos where there's somebody out playing their guitar and singing and that, and all these out and they're all clapping and cheering and all that fucking happiness and all that shit, right? So we done it. But obviously neither of us can sing, so we turned the speakers out and we played some music. Some shite music, but people seem to.
Was it like Rhythm of the Night by Corona?
I might just say that before. It was like bollocks. You heard the GBX. It's a guy that DJs, but DJs.
George Bowie.
It's a guy that DJs on 4th One or whatever.
But he's cunt kicked in with Tommy Sheridan.
Boom. There you go. Back to boring again.
How's that boring?
No, it was great. I actually hate GBX to death. So I fuck that guy. So it was like it's really terribly done dance music, and it's all done really badly, but everybody loves it.
That sounds good.
That's awful.
No, I like awful music. I really do. But, it's an issue. I'm trying to deal with it.
But so we done that. We sort of put the decks out and stuff like that. We just played music in the street.
I know it was 2 o'clock. About 2 o'clock we went.
2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Seriously?
Yeah. And
morning.
No.
Fuck everybody on night shift. Key workers, yeah, come on.
So we started at 2 o'clock. We sort of blotting the music out, and then people would message me on Snapchat or Messenger or something, and they'd be like, "Turn it up, we can't hear it."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Oh, no, we'll see what happens," sort of thing.
Then at one point, way down the road, he's like a 60-year-old man. He was like, "Put on Wiz Khalifa."
That was the second night. That was the second night.
Oh, well, fuck it then.
But so the first night, basically, somebody ruined it who stays at the back here. I don't think his name's right, but if I did, I would have fucking name dropped that cunt. I know. Fucking unbelievable. But he came round and he sort of says, "Could you turn the music down?"
That's polite.
Fair enough.
That's very polite.
The music was loud, absolutely loud, because I was trying to fill a street. He stays there. The music would have at least been cut by half.
Because he was behind it.
Because it was behind it, sort of thing. And he was quite
travels in weird ways sometimes, you know.
Right. So
could
maybe
be bouncing off the houses across for you and like landing like right in his ear hole.
Shit, maybe. There you go.
Cause actually consider this, right? I always find this really interesting. So when you go to like big festivals and that, like outdoor festivals, if you're living, say you live like just outside the festival, like literally in the town next to it or something, it could be that you didn't hear the festival, but if you live like the next town along, you'll probably hear it, because what happens is like the sound travels up the way, right? It's like heat, it rises. But also like heat or whatever, like the sound rises to a certain point, like it'll get in the atmosphere or whatever, and then it kind of like basically curves back down, right, through some kind of scientific fucking method. I don't know, I can't remember. Didn't pay too much attention at
We
college.
should have
but
had Ross Gillenders in.
I remember this much anyway. So it rises and then it travels quite far whilst it's doing that, and then it comes back down. So it will actually like curve over something nearby and then land in like the next town or whatever, where you hear it clear as day.
That'll be why.
Something like that. Well, so maybe it was quite bad for him, or maybe it was just
That's maybe. But he came in and complained, and then basically.
But we said aye. We were like, cool.
Aye, we did
we'll do that. Done it a wee bit and was like, is that cool? Couldn't really hear each other, so that might have been part of the issue. But we're like, was that cool? And he thumbs up and he walked away quite the thing.
And then somebody said something to him.
Aye. We didn't ken somebody had said something to him.
Aye.
At the bottom, he was telling them that he was annoyed about the thing and said, well, fucking shut the blinds and away to your bed or some fucking shit.
Some shit like
Told
that.
him to fuck off, basically. So he phoned the police.
Right.
So, we got shut down. But
well, it's no fun if you didn't get shut down, you know.
But they shut us down before 7. Like, the whole point was
right, for 8 o'clock.
to get the
for
clap.
the 8 o'clock clap, aye.
So we had to, like, break the law.
Do it again.
Aye.
But they did say we could play it like as loud as we want, 8 o'clock.
That's weird.
Well, no.
Technically.
She argued
no.
with me.
Aye.
She argued.
Because this wasn't the police mind, it was like a council.
It was a councilwoman.
The noise squad or something. I'm going to assume that's what they're called.
Literally, it was like
Noise with a Z.
Yeah. Because we're hip hop as fuck.
With the noise squad. We shut you down. I don't know why they're from London or whatever, but
The word weirdly enough, Sean, the
they
word for
came
London
all the
as
way
well.
for London.
Weirdly enough. It's mad how you get these things.
It's crazy, yeah.
It's crazy. But so we got shut down and then we done an air week. But it was like an hour before the thing. So we're like, at least if the police come, we're going to be finished at 8. So we done it then, and then this is when somebody got in touch for like right at the bottom house of the street. It was like, could you play fucking
Wiz Khalifa, that Charlie Puth,
the Paul Walker tune sort of thing. Alright, shit. So we played that anyway, and you see him right at the bottom of the street just dancing away at the door and everything.
Yeah.
That's cool shit. I like
that's
that.
the funnest
That was awesome
shit you'll ever see. Is like
Aye.
just folk in their house. They kind of go out, but they're like, you're still able to do something.
Yeah. They're interacting,
pretty cool.
the connection there.
I mean, this was like deep into the lockdown as well, so like you weren't allowed out. Like,
And by the way,
didn't he fucking move?
I only done the first one because Craig had mentioned, I think his birthday was the week before, and he'd mentioned me getting the decks out in the garden and stuff like that, and I was like, honestly man, like, nobody really cares. Nobody's going to be really that bored about it. And he was like, alright, fucking fair enough. Like, called me a moaning bastard, but I am. I got to the following week and he'd been at me all week. And I was like, right, fine, right, I'll go out and do it just to show that nobody gives a fuck. I got out and started, and then by maybe about 5, every cunt was out and drinking in their fucking gardens.
Fuck it.
It was amazing, so, fuck it. So, pretty cool.
Worth it. We were famous for a day.
Definitely worth it, man. It's the kind of things that like you need when all this is going on, like people just coming together a wee bit and that. Like one thing that I've found a really saving grace is just like group chats, like video chats with some pals, like not even dating in particular, but like, playing some games over like some video chats and having some drinks at the weekend. And it just makes you feel a wee bit like you've got a social life again, because I live on my own, so I was just like, I was literally on my own, just like, oh well, it's the weekend, I might as well get pissed, I guess. Which is a wee bit sad, but whatever. But then like, oh no, I've got some friends here on my computer screen.
You said you had some comments. You want to go through them, or you?
Oh, I just had the one comment. It was just
right.
Somebody laughing, Holly laughing at hopscotch. That was it. Well, I don't know.
I think it was a valid guess.
I was Stuck in the Mud. Did you play Stuck in the Mud?
Stuck in the Mud.
Oh yeah,
that was my favourite shit, man.
That was the way you get tagged and you have to stay still.
Aye, but
and then somebody goes through your legs to get you free.
Or Duck Duck Goose.
Aye, that was good.
That was like a classroom game sort of thing rather than outside. I don't think anybody done that outside.
Head down, thumbs up.
What?
Oh yeah,
head down, thumbs up.
That was brilliant.
Did you not play that?
I've not heard of that one.
Oh, you're a fucking loser.
Everybody puts their heads down so you kind of see, and your thumbs up like on a desk. Everybody in the room apart from one person. That one person then goes that everybody does that, and then a person gets selected to go round the room and put somebody's thumb. Oh no, what was the rules?
I can't mind.
It's Duck Goose.
No,
is what it,
no, they go around the room and they put somebody's thumbs down, and then they go back to their seat and sit down, and then everybody lifts their heads up, and the person who's got their thumbs down is to guess who did it, I think, or something.
Something like that. There was also another one where
it's a murder mystery thing. Basically,
you had to have a you had to have a pencil, and then somebody would take the pencil. Oh no! I remember what it was.
This and shit.
So everybody had their
pencil.
thumbs either up or down. One they were coming, but then they went back to their seat and they had to say it was them, but in a different voice. They had to try and fake
off.
the voice to say it was them, and then you had to work out who it was.
Right.
I think.
Oh god, I bet that went down a fucking storm.
Oh mate, that was a fucking mate. Everybody loved that.
Totally loved that.
Shit.
You didn't live. You're a fucking loser.
Literally never heard of that game in my life. That must be like a new school game.
Oh, you're pathetic. That's what's wrong.
I'm old as well, you have to remember. I'm fucking sick.
What did you just play then?
They didn't have
Shite
thumbs
game.
back when Scuba was in school. They never had thumbs.
So I'm saying they were cut off. What other dangerous games we were playing? Pass the knife and that. It was good. Fucking things like that.
When you say pass the knife, do you mean like
just
like
throwing
eat
it back and
and
forward?
pass it?
It was like a game of catch sort of thing. You just throw it back and forward and
Oh yeah.
no gloves, no thumbs. That's what happened. Just the way it went down. It was good.
What was IT like back in your day?
I'd shut up, you. Typewriters. What was it?
Using tablets for Egypt.
Tablets,
and that.
just sitting a bit sten. Didn't the Liam Grub work?
Chisels,
Name
that.
drop, mate.
IT was just a big scary clown back in Scooby's day.
Definitely. That's it. We had the BBC microcomputers. You remember them?
Nah.
Oh, how old are you, Shaun?
I'm 30 actually.
But he's no die. He just missed it.
He's like midway between me and you.
The most advanced thing we ever had was we had the BBC microcomputer, which was like an awful thing where you used to do like adventure games where you'd like type in what you want to do next.
Oh, I've played them actually.
Right? So I had that, but the most advanced thing was a wee robot. You typed in the commands on the computer and it moved.
Oh. Like a Roomba
Like a
thing.
fucking non-advanced Roomba.
Aye.
It was fucking terrible. It would move like in jitters instead of
pretty
actually
sure
moving properly.
God, that's some shit.
It would just go doot, 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 doot. It was a
That was
fucking awful.
top of the range back in the
Top
day.
of the range back in the day.
I'm sure my primary school had one of them actually.
I remember
using it.
My first search engine was Ask Jeeves.
Oh aye.
That was the
To be
big
fair,
one at the high school.
Jeeves is still gone, man.
Is it?
Is it? I've never
Still
seen
going
it.
strong.
How? He was fucking terrible. Like,
Because he,
Like you ask him questions instead of searching for what you want.
exactly, yeah.
I think gives you the fucking answers, mate.
Right, but he didn't.
Kills shit, he's killing
He
it.
fucking never gave you the answer.
Nah, that's Jesus.
I'm going to go and
brilliant.
ask Jeeves right now.
Aye.
Well, wait, see
I
if
just
it
got a
works.
question.
How?
When will COVID be over?
Aye.
Right, let's find
Let's
out.
see if the fucking bastard kins that.
I bet the government never even thought to ask Jeeves, ken? Like,
Aye.
fucking,
so fucking
so
Boris
incompetent.
So overcome with Google.
So
you bet.
incompetent.
Idiots.
It's called ask.com now.
Oh,
But it's got the same kind of logo. Like,
aye. This will be riveting listening for.
when is, what am I,
When will COVID be
When?
done? I reckon.
Done.
I reckon
When-
I word that.
when will COVID
When is Armageddon
be
finished?
done? Sorry. Oh, the first result.
You got an answer?
Well, no, the first result was just like, what are the symptoms of COVID-19? So it's kind of giving me a question instead of an answer.
Which is the opposite of Ask Jeeves.
Ask
Absolute-
Jeeves sucks, man.
Ask fucking answering back with a question.
Well, that's it. Jeeves obviously quit because of the quality of the
Imagine you
That's
went
it,
to
I
the
think.
Pulse House and their default search engine was Ask. You'd slap them, wouldn't you? You'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
They'd be handing out fucking cheese and onion sausage rolls at the curries and that. Call back. That's what you. Hey, thank you.
That was good.
Fuck. What do you want to talk about next?
Well, what do you want to talk about?
Sorry, your holiday. You had the best fucking story earlier.
Oh, it was a good stuff.
It's going to be weird that you have to repeat it though.
No, that's fine. I'll abbreviate it because it's probably better to lack some details, to be honest.
Aye.
No, it was good fun. I had a good fun in, well, actually, first of all, Rome, or at least when I was there in January. I don't know what it's like now. Hopefully they've cleaned the place up. It was a fucking dive.
I have
It
heard
was-
this. I have heard Canadians talk about this before.
Yeah.
Oh, is it really disgusting?
It's just
Similarly, aye.
it's filthy. Like there's massive piles of rubbish on every street corner and that, and
Oh, really?
homeless people, like
Rome?
proper piles of rubbish.
You'd think Rome would be a bit more...
Well, see, this is what made me realise is like capital cities are just all the kind of the same, basically. Obviously they've got... I'm really interested in architecture and history and stuff, so I thought, Rome will be great. And on one hand, it was great, because I saw a lot of architecture and history. But the history and architecture, I feel like it's a bit... what's the word I'm looking for? It's
Shite.
Underwhelming. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, right? And I got good weather as well, even though it was in January. It was, it was a wee bit cold, but it was still really nice. But it was really dirty. But then what happened was like a couple of nights in, I was there for 5 nights or 4 nights or whatever. A couple of nights in, I just I met a lassie because she was... Well, I found these 2 English lassies fighting in the middle of the street. And
I can't believe that's the start of the story.
That's actually what happened. I was pissed. It was like well after midnight. I was heading back to my Airbnb, and I just this commotion started on this proper empty street. It was a huge street as well. It was so empty, and there were just these 2 lassies, and I recognised that their voices were English, and I was like, they're from England. So I thought, well, I can actually maybe even intervene and stop this fight from happening, because if they were Italian, I'd probably just get my arse kicked, because they wouldn't understand me. I can't understand them. But I was like, and I was drunk enough to think I could help, and I did. I totally helped them out, actually. I think so, anyway. I mean, they could confirm. They could corroborate. I did. I totally helped.
We'll contact them for the podcast.
Well, yeah, I mean, whatever. But like, no, really though. Like, I split up the fight. It turned out they were pals. They were just pissed, and they were having a big rammy. And they got split up because they were still pissed off at each other. And I was like, look, I'll help you out. Where the fuck he's gone? Helped one of them get back home, and then I went to go find a friend and be like, look, where's your hotel? I'll help you get back, because I've been here a couple of days now, and I kind of came away around. Turned out she's on like the other side of the city, and that. It was becoming a bit basically the metro was closed, and then kind of we got a taxi. I was just like, you know what? I think you've muted me.
Something there.
But
Someone something to your microphone there.
You're fucking about with stuff.
No.
shit.
You should go and grab that one.
Anyway, so
sorry about that.
Basically, long story short, I was like, well, you could crash at my Airbnb, and then one thing led to another, and that was totally not my intention, but it happened. And then, it actually turned into like a really romantic kind of thing, because we ended up going out with her for a couple of months after that. But she lived in England, and it didn't quite work out. It was quite a...
That is the welcome
very random trip. Like, I did not expect that at all. It was just like, just kicking about in Rome, enjoying myself on my own, and then next thing I know, I had a girlfriend. I was still like, wow, I saved you from getting your arse kicked, and now we had a couple of brilliant days together, just like me, her, and her friend, and actually, funnily enough as well, how random this is, a guy I know from high school, Midge, he was also in Rome at the same time, on his own, and he randomly messaged me the day after I met the lassie. I'll save her name out of this, right? But I met her, and the day after, he was like messaging me like, "Oh, you're in Rome? I'm in Rome as well." And I was like, "No fucking way!" And I don't think I'd seen him since high school. I was like, "Let's meet up." And I was like, "Actually, I met 2 English lassies last night, so we could have a double date." And that's what we did. We met up at a pub, and we got absolutely trashed. Like, I probably should have died a couple of times that night. Like, it was crazy. I'm not going into details. It was just crazy. It was absolutely crazy, but it was good times.
That's what happens in your last nights. That's usually the worst nights before you go with him, because you feel like you have to pack everything in. That's sort of that last night, so you're just like, you have to really go ahead and see what you can pack.
So what did you do the first couple of nights?
I was just
it's weird to me. No disrespect, but
we've spoken about this in the
going on holiday. By the way, that was the second time I'd done that, because I did it last summer, where I booked a wee trip up where I went to a few places. So I went to Prague for a couple of days, then to Vienna, and then to Florence. And it was basically because I just really wanted to kind of just bugger off and see some... I really always wanted to go to Florence. I don't know why. It was always in my head since I was young. I go there, and it's one of my favourite places I've ever been, actually. So I highly recommend it. And I looked online for all these cheap flights and just thought, I'll do a wee adventure in Europe. I just kind of wanted to see some sights. And I really enjoyed it. I was just on my own, and I thought, this is either going to be really shit or really good, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. So I thought, I'm going to do that again. And because I liked Florence so much, and Italy in general, when I was in Florence, I thought the Italians were brilliant. and they were all drinking Tennent's Super. And I was just like, you know what, this is my place. I thought, I'm going to go back to Italy, because I'd never been before, and I'm going to go to Rome this time. And so I went to Rome, that's why. And it was for my birthday as well. I was like, well, to be honest, I did ask, like, some friends or whatever, like, before, like, oh, do you want to come with me and that? And I was open for, like, company, but I also wasn't fussy for it either. Like, it just turned out...
Asking to be nice sort of thing.
Well, I was asking some people because I thought it would be nice to go along with them, but then ultimately I wasn't really fussy if they did or didn't. And it turned out I was going on my own anyway, so it was good.
So that night you found the fight.
Oh, it was before that.
You were pissed.
I was pissed, man.
So you just went in, that's the part that it's fine to like go out and like see the sights and stuff when you're in. Mm-hmm. You can like rent a car or drive about somewhere and go into the mountains, or fucking care what people do. But the idea of going out on your own in a different country where you didn't speak the language that everybody else speaks, daunting, and then you go and get pissed. Well, how does that happen?
Well, it's really daunting, but I recommend it to anybody because it was like such a learning experience, a social sort of experiment, if you like, where like I'm fairly confident, but I also get social anxiety as much as the next person, you know what I mean? And going to pubs and stuff on your own and going to gigs on your own can be a wee bit daunting, even if it's in your hometown and that. Yeah. But I was like, I was fully prepared. Well, I wasn't fully prepared at all, but I was like fully prepared to like hate it. Like I was fully prepared to be like, nah, this isn't working. I'm totally no enjoying this, but it didn't work. It didn't happen like that. So all I was doing was like, I'd arrive and I'd be like, I like walking places. I didn't like getting transport and stuff. I was just thinking, oh well, if I'm on this side of the city, I'm going to walk all the way through the city to that landmark over there and see what that is. Go see the Vatican, for example, in the Rome. When I was in Rome, I had to walk all the way through the city to get there. But I was near the Colosseum, so I'd be like, oh, I'll walk past the Colosseum today, and then tomorrow I'll maybe go inside and visit it. But
are they all like really fucking far away from each other?
No, it's not that bad actually.
Walking distance sort of thing. You're able to get
like an hour's walk. I was like about an hour and a half walk for the.
See, that would kill us, but you're able to walk.
But also I would only walk like 40 minutes, then stop at a cafe, get a Tennent's Super and a wee sandwich or something. And then there's all these wee kiosks in the street where you can buy a Tennent's Super. So by the time I get to the Vatican, I'm absolutely steaming, shouting about Pedo Pope and that, and like Big Pappy's house and that, Pedo HQ, which is totally not the nice thing to do. But
I'd imagine, by the way,
I'm only joking. That's totally like offensive to people and that. But like,
I'm going to be honest, I imagine there's loads of people who do that when they're in Rome. They're like, we have to go and shout.
I wasn't actually shouting it.
No,
but like, I was
Shaun
turning up.
UDA.
I was turning up.
Joining forces.
I was turning up pissed and fully jokes and silliness. But no, like really, what I was doing was just like during the day, I just kick about and find a wee park or something. Like maybe I don't know, just make it up as I go, see what happens. And what you end up doing is you bump into like something. Like for example, when last summer I went to Prague. That was the first place I went. And I was just, there was a big park on the map, and I thought, I'm going to walk up that park. It's up this big hill. I'll have a great view of the city. But on my way there, I bumped into this guy called Mark, who I've got on Facebook now, actually. And he was from Taiwan. And he was fucking lovely. He was just so nice. We just started chatting, and we ended up speaking for about 40 minutes, walking like all over this bridge and stuff, and he was just lovely. He was telling me about his travels. He'd been travelling about the world on his own. He was like a retired teacher. He was an older guy, or something like that. And so he'd been to Scotland before, and I was telling him where to go in Scotland if he goes again, and all this shit. And he was just awesome. So you just end up bumping into people randomly because you're on your own, and they're like, you're with a group, so
they probably recognise it as well because you're like no sitting about, so like you look like you're waiting for somebody.
Exactly.
So they'll notice that sort of thing. They'll be like, oh shit, there's another person that's just on their own sort of thing.
Where would you suggest he goes in Scotland?
Like
Kirkcaldy High Street, the Mercat, shit like that.
Kennaway.
Nah. You can't beat a bit of Kennaway.
You have to go and see a Kennaway Colts match. That's what you would say.
Aye. No, but the weird thing is as well, like I thought going to bars would be like total shit, but it actually turned out pretty cool as well because you go in and like you're in a foreign country for one, so it's like nobody really cares why you're there. Like you're just some random guy that can't speak their language, and you're just like, I'll have a beer and stuff, and then before you know it though, like
I'll have a beer.
Aye.
I'll talk about
before you know it, you overhear somebody that's Scottish or I was in an Irish bar in Rome, right? Because I thought, Irish bar, like that was the first night I was there. I got there in the morning. I can't mind anyway. The point was, by the time I was like, I'm going to go out for a drink. I was like, I'm just going to go to an Irish bar tonight, just settle in, just gauge the atmosphere and whatever. And I went to this Irish bar, and it was a fucking hoot. Next, like, I made friends with this guy who couldn't speak English, but he was I think he was for the Netherlands actually, and he just started buying me drinks for some reason. I don't know why, but I couldn't communicate with him properly, but we were having a good laugh. And then whilst I was talking to him or trying to communicate with him or ordering a pint, some guy went past me and was just like, "Oh, you're Scottish, eh?" And I was like, "What?" And aye, and he was like, "Ah, yeah, aye, brilliant." And it turned like he wasn't Scottish, he was actually from Dublin, which became very apparent when I was like, "Well, where are you from?" And he gave me, I can't do a Dublin accent, but he just proper...
Just here I go.
I can't even
remember.
Which one is the Dublin accent though?
Fuck knows.
Is it the coarse, like, sit down now? Is it that one?
I don't know, I think so.
Try it, Shaun, anyway.
Dublin,
I'm from Dublin. I'm from Dublin. And
that was an Englishman from Dublin there.
Where's he from? Oxford?
As soon as he said that, I was like, duh. But no, it's cool, man. You just bump into people, meet people, stop fights, and that. It's great.
I just remember being in. I've been to like Poland and Norway and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was with like a group of like youth workers and stuff. And fucking, we picked up. I don't know if you've heard of this term, but it's the European English accent. When you go abroad, you're sort of trying to you really calm down your accent, and it's really like. I just remember
like watering it down and
really watering it down as well.
Yeah,
you're like really calming everything down, really being just like, try to sound posh as well. Like
no saying
like,
aye, saying yes.
Thank you very much for that and stuff like that.
Have you noticed though that when you do that, like you slur your words more?
Yes,
because you're not used to doing it, and that the rhythm doesn't work.
Aye. And then you end up just like getting caught by going, aye, totally. And then you're like, nah, I've ruined this guy's day now.
What happened to me a lot, actually, especially in Prague, it happened loads where people would be speaking to me or trying to communicate with me for a bit, and they were all really good at English and that, like really good. And I'm like speaking to them for a wee bit, and then they go, "Oh, so where are you from?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm from Scotland." And then they're like, "Oh, your English is really good for like being from Scotland and that." And I'm like, Yeah, that's like the only language I know is English. And another person thought I was like for Denmark or something. And then, and yet another person said to me, "Do you speak English?"
Yes.
And I'm like, well, no, really, actually. I mean, like, what we actually speak is Scots dialect. It's actually, and then they're like, what?
What language do they think we speak? Gaelic?
I don't know.
It's because it's so quick.
Depends who you're speaking to, obviously.
There's a guy, there's a YouTuber that's done. It was like what certain people in certain countries think other countries sound like, and I think the videos is way more specific than that. But I'll try and find it.
To be fair,
add it in this description.
The Scots sort of language is heavily influenced by Nordic, like Viking influence in that.
That's what I found out.
A lot of your words that we use, like the Scots dialect, is just derived from like Norwegian, I guess. Or I found old Norwegian words.
I found it in Norway that ta is a thank you.
Oh, there you go.
And Hoover is a stuur sukker. No, I don't know if that's a lie or not. By the way, that's what I was told.
That sounds accurate. Like
that's great.
But the best story I have of somebody sort of like knowing English words, but hearing them like in another context was the bit. But it was like he'd been to Scotland a few times before, and he'd heard the term "fed." You're getting fed, and stuff like that. So he was like rubbing his belly, and he was like, "Oh, I'm fed up." So he just completely got it wrong, but it was like he kind of understood what he was trying to say. That's the best kind of stumble I'd seen with that kind of language.
It kind of puts into perspective what we sound like trying to speak another language.
Totally.
Like we're like they're chucking in random English words, and they're like, yes, kind of. I kind of get what you're trying to say.
It's awkward, it's awkward.
Right.
You're right.
Oh yeah, I think my headphones just cut a wee bit. They're back on. That's fine.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Then press another button. You'll mute.
No.
I totally agree. That kind of thing totally fascinates me actually. Just like languages and stuff. Mm-hmm. And one of my favourite things, so I'd spoke to this guy. This was also in Prague actually last year. I spoke to this guy in my hostel. Whatever you call it, like I stayed in the hostel when I was in Prague. And
in Prague, a hostel?
Mm-hmm. Fuck that. Yeah. It was actually, it worked really fine.
The films?
Yeah, total. And the guy that was there, he was, let me try and get this right, he was half Kazakhstan, half Japanese.
Right,
as in, like,
right.
he looked like Asian, Japanese, you know, he looked Japanese, but he grew up in Kazakhstan because he had, like, Kazakhstan family and Japanese family, which meant that he knew Japanese, Russian, Kazakh, English.
Shit, right.
He knew, he speak Czech as well, because we're in Prague. He was studying there, and he was also learning Spanish and stuff. He knew, like, so many languages, and I was like, wow, that's fascinating. And he found me fascinating because he was like, so you speak English? And
Just one.
no, he was like, you speak English, but it's not the same as, like, normal English and that. And I'm like, well, yeah, basically it is like a sort of sub language, like it's a bit more than a dialect, really, isn't it? Like Scots dialect.
There's so many more Scottish words
Aye.
that has just been added.
Yeah.
From years and years of just people fanning about.
So I was
all
trying
the
to
time.
explain some stuff to him, and then he wanted me to try and translate some like lines for, like, the film Snatch, which is like Ireland, but, like, you know what I mean. He was like, "Oh, well, you might know what this means in that," and then he started playing me, like, on his laptop, like the film Snatch, where it's all these, like, fighters, like, they're like gypsy fighters or something.
It's one with Brad Pitt in that.
Aye, it's a fucking great
That's
film.
it, aye, totally,
It's
aye.
a great film. That I need to watch that again. But and it's like, I was listening, going, I'll be honest, mate, I have no fucking clue what he's saying right there. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Brad Pitt was so good at that as well.
do you mind-
Get the dags. That was amazing.
Do you
Sorry.
mind trying to watch that the Gypsy Traveller, like, Irish boxing thing, the documentary?
oh, they.
Yes.
It was like
Gypsy
really
King.
rural. Aye, like
that's
it was
on
about-
YouTube, man.
It
That's
was
on
about
YouTube as
Dan
well.
Joyce, I think his name is.
Aye, I don't know.
Jan Joyce and bollocks.
It was like
Get
really,
the dags.
really rural gypsy
Yeah.
travellers, like middle of fucking nowhere, and they're just trying to understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
mental.
Dan Joyce and bollocks, yeah. Amazing, aye.
so
It's great.
fast and, like,
Aye, aye.
obscure.
You came to my house.
Well, I tried to explain to him one of my favourite Scottish words, which is Ben. Like when you're Ben there, or like I'm just going Ben the kitchen, and it's really hard because it's so specific. Like, obviously we grew up with that word, and you know exactly what I mean when I say that. But to try and teach somebody how to use that word, it's like, well, you can't use it outside. You can't go like, I'm going Ben the. Like,
Shy, that's really.
I mean, it's a very particular. It's very particular. It's all
interior
about
work.
you're inside, and you're talking about a room that's also inside the same building as you, and you're referring to that room as Ben, as in like through the wall.
And it's next to you, sort of thing. It has to be next to you. You can't even go Ben the bathroom.
Upstairs. Yeah, exactly. You're right. I wouldn't go up. I wouldn't Ben upstairs. I wouldn't.
I just thought about that there. I was like, shit. Right.
I've like I had an ex that was English. Not just the last that I met in Rome. Actually, I'm sure I tried to explain it to her as well. But I had an ex that was English, and I was like, I had so much entertainment just trying to explain this to her, because I was like, you know what, this doesn't really make sense, but it makes so much sense in my head. Like I know how to use the word in context. But
Again, that's. There's
Listening to us must be difficult sometimes.
there's a lot of people that don't use the word Ben as well. Like, we specifically didn't use it, but I know a good few other people that do, and I know people that don't. Just all around about the same area. It's like very.
There's also
different
like
families
really
got
weird phrase. Well, Cockney.
Cockney.
Cockney, I love that.
What is that?
Curry-in's a good one.
I love it.
Come on, Curry-in.
We use the
Curry-in's a really nice thing you could say to somebody when you want them to like cuddle into you. Or
cuddling.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's like
I have to.
curry
Right,
in. Or you could curry in on your own if you get all cozy. It's like, you know, it's a nice thing.
What was it? What was one of the?
We done a hip hop podcast a few weeks ago, and
Bear in mind, this is like 99% American listeners.
so and Craig was like, oh, we've been doing this podcast. Or
It was a
something like
podcast where it was 2 pre-recorded interviews or something.
that. Right enough.
So we had no work to do on that podcast.
Yeah.
Basically, there was a wee bit talking. It was mostly just sitting back, listening to music, and listening to this interview.
And Craig says, I've been sitting here, calling my planning. And I was like, call my planning. That's so we called it that. We called the podcast Call My Planning.
Also, like, how do you
amazing.
spell that stuff?
I don't know.
What my best go?
CAW,
M.A.
Panning.
Panning.
Aye,
That was it.
I would say.
But like, nobody really kens.
Nah.
It's like one for the Americans there, call my planning.
And Cockney as well.
Cockney as well.
See, they're fucking amazing terms, like amazing phrases that people you need to start utilising.
But is that like-
brilliant?
Also, Fife is quite specific, and I was speaking to
Fifisms.
I was speaking to Jock. Jock is a guy that used to play in a band. He's like 945 years old, and he was talking about. He was talking about he'd done a gig in Kennewy in like the 70s, like really long ago. Like he was only like 80 back then, and so he came through, and the guy on the stage, the MC that was introducing him,
the local Kennewy guy.
He went on stage and he spoke for about 30 seconds, and Jock was like, I fucking didn't understand a single word he had just said. I understood 3 words at the end. He said, you know what I mean, eh? Like, that was the entirety of what I understood. It was just the rest of it was just
I've had that in Dunfermline. It was years ago, that's Scott Melrose. Name drop again, fuck it, I keep doing that. I was up at his bit, and it was just the one night, but he'd like, I'd only met him like maybe for about 10 minutes, and he was, by the way, really struggling with your accent, by the way. And I was like, you're just 20 minutes up the fucking road, how are you struggling? Jesus Christ. And then we went for a walk about, and he'd like paraded me about, like showing his pals this wee like pet rabbit. Fucking brought
check
her in.
the way this guy speaks.
Check his weird voice.
As if you've done deer for him.
Going for a pet.
Going for that phrase as well. I was speaking to an
that.
English person, and
Was it a mince pear and ingin and a?
no, two
And an onion in as well.
2 tays a pay and an onion and a.
And an onion.
Why are you getting an onion as well?
And an onion in as well.
And an onion and a.
No, ingin in as well.
And an onion in. Is
like-
oh shit.
And an
Right,
onion in and all.
what an idiot, I've been pronouncing that wrong.
That's one of the best phrases ever. Like
2 tays a pay and an onion in and a. Oh, yeah. Boom. That's amazing. So, for ages
Love
I've
you,
always
Dundee.
thought, why are they going for an extra onion?
Aye.
I'm
Well,
assuming it's an onion pie or something.
And, like, do
some
you
kind
get-
of onion.
Like a mince and
gravy.
onion. That makes sense to me. Or steak and onion.
Yeah.
Steak and onion pie. So I've been fucking
We mind
that
up
for
in
years.
up in Aberdeen. They used to talk about the loons. And
Loons,
Mum was
aye.
really offended at this. That they were talking about us.
How's your loons getting
How's
on?
your
Sorry,
loons?
how's your
Mum
loons?
was like, they're not fucking lunatics. That's
Oh, like Wayne's.
bullshit.
Yes,
That's what loons
Oh,
means.
actually, Aberdeen's a really good example because
Quines.
they've got like Quines
Quines as well.
women.
Quines, aye, women
And,
in Aberdeen and shit.
They've just got a whole different fucking
Whole different thing.
language. Like it's
What I've noticed though is
like-
Glenrothes seems to be like its own thing where they all speak relatively properly. Like
I have
when
noticed that a few
Parker
times,
first
aye.
came up, Parker was speaking properly, and obviously it was, you're gay for speaking properly. That was the
That
thing.
was a thing back in the day.
And that's the stupid fucking shit that happened back then.
back in the 90s.
So that was, I'm like, but I've met a few folk for Glenrothes, and they're all like, why are you speaking proper?
They like that in Cooper as well.
Is it Cooper as well?
Well, they're like that in Cooper.
Not like that.
Fucking weirdos, man.
Aye. So when I went to Elmwood College.
Then again, Mum was
for
from
that
St
2 years.
Andrews, and she didn't speak like that.
Aye, but she'd been here for a long fucking
That's fair.
time before.
That's fair.
Aye. Elmwood College was like that. I remember going up there, and like fucking people hinking I came from like a rough area and shit, and I was like, aye. I do.
Stabbing all the time, mate.
Aye,
Ryan
there's a
Bolton
sub in
on
your
the
study.
house.
I was like, aye. But aye, that was fucking amazing. I just remember just walking about there just like amazed. Because everybody seemed to like have money. And I just, for this shitty fucking area, everybody just seemed to like just be getting on fine and that. And I was like, oh, you bastards. Unbelievable. I hated that place. So I am no longer a chef. So I hated Elmwood College. And a lazy fucker. That's what happened. So we seem to have reached a natural end there. Do you have anything to promote?
Well, my album.
The
So,
album?
I would just say a wee quick bit about that. Like, that was actually. So I had like a wee studio session, like a recording session on my computer that I actually started working or like recording into in like 2013. Like the session was literally called August 2013 Acoustic Recordings or something, and I was just like adding in a wee bits of songs and that. And throughout the years, became my scrapbook where I would just, when in the evening when I was particularly high, maybe like after a wee smoke and that, I'd end up recording some stupid wee shit into that, or like working on like some song that I would written and think, oh, that would work well with like the acoustic stuff. So anyway, a lot of that is like old songs, and I mean most of it got recorded in the last couple of months, like with I'd redone vocals and stuff and bits of guitar. But some of the guitar is actually recorded in a wee cottage in Salake, which is what the song Salake is about. Because that's where my mum lived when I was born. I wasn't born there, but like I didn't grow up there either. I wasn't there for long and moved to Fife. But I went there a few years ago to go just see what it was like. Because it's such a beautiful place. It's right. It's near the Elandoran Castle, so it's on the shores of Loch Long, which Elandoran Castle sits in. It's a beautiful wee castle on the west coast, next to the Isle of Skye, or near the Isle of Skye. So I went there, and then I took my guitar and my recording equipment so I could record my Salake song in there. And so I've kept like some wee recordings for way back. And Rabbit Hole was recorded after doing the Rabbit Hole in 2014.
I was wondering that when I heard that yesterday.
What happened was I took my guitar to do the Rabbit Hole. I was actually playing that year, or was it 2000? Anyway, whatever. The year that I played it doing the Rabbit Hole, I only played there once, I think. And basically, I took an acoustic with me and let my pals play it, and it was like my pals like Martin Rollo and Dougie, like Doug and that, and they're like super like great musicians and all clued up on stuff. So they've got my guitar and all these like fucked up tune-ins, and they're like playing all these fucked up things, and I'm just like whatever, man, can like just have fun in that, and I'm getting a wee shot when I can, but leaving them to it because they're the experts. But the bastards like broke 3 strings and left my guitar in this like fucked up tuning, and then so I was like, well, I'm going to still try and play it, and I ended up coming up with this wee freaky wee tune meditative thing, and then I was like, oh my god, if I restring this guitar or even tune it, I'll not be able to play this tune anymore. So I had to keep it in that condition until I could get it to like a recording facility at home and record it. So I think I had it like that for about a week because I didn't get round to recording it, and I was just like, don't go to tune, don't add any strings, and then I recorded that, and like it's actually just kind of improvised like thing. But
I'm going to recheck that out because I didn't get that story.
So that's quite an old recording as well. But they're all old songs. Like Riverside Blues that you played there, I actually wrote that song whilst walking along the wall doing it the dam in Methil.
Oh shit!
Like, I had my guitar, all my pals were there. That's where we used to go hang about and like smoke some weed and that and get drunk. Well, we had our caravan, but anyway, we'd go down there, and I took my guitar with me that time, and I was just walking along beside the river and just like playing a wee jazzy thing, and I was like Riverside Blues, and that song's just been with me for almost 10 years, I guess, or more than 10 years, and I just thought it's about time I recorded that.
That's awesome, man.
Aye, so I check that out. I was basically a lot of the stuff. It was basically me thinking, I've got this opportunity to get this shit off my back, because that's kind of been lingering over me, that I really wanted to finish this acoustic album. All those songs are ancient. I've now written like way better songs in my opinion, and like totally different styles, and I'm totally in a different space, and I was like, well, I've still got this thing in the background, so I'll get that done and move on, and I've still got loads of other projects that I started. Oh, and another thing I've been doing, which you'll probably never ever see the light of day. I don't know if it will, but I've been writing a book, and I'm
sure
like,
thing.
I started that a good few years. To be honest, when I was younger, before I got into music, I was always into writing, and I wanted to be an author or something like that. I don't know. And so I used to like write all the time when I was like 11 and 12, and didn't get very far. I didn't write much. But a few years ago, I thought, hey, you know what? Why didn't I just like start writing into like a Word document and just see where it goes? And actually just do that, because I've always wanted to do it. So why the fuck not? You only get one life. So I started writing a book, and the whole thing my rules for it was, all right, I have to get high before I do it, and I can't think about what I'm going to write before I write it. I just have to jump into it and see where it goes. And
like kind of automatic writing sort of thing, about it.
And that's kind of how it started. And now I'm like almost 50,000 words in, and it's like. It's got a pretty cool story, and along the way I started like 4 other different stories that aren't that substantial, like maybe like a couple of thousand words, or I think the other one that's got the most is just under 10,000 words, so like nothing at all really, and like loads of ideas. So the last couple of weeks I've actually been like pretty much isolating in my house intensely so that I could write this book and like thrashing out a couple of thousand words every night and that, and just I'm going to do that when I go home tonight actually. So
excellent, man.
I don't know. I think I'm advertising my book.
It's the first time you've pretty much spoken about it. Like,
kind of. I didn't really talk about it much. But I thought it's now on my.
If it's now got a story.
Kind of. So I think what I think it's about. Nah, it's a bit confusing. But
Well, you were high.
well, yeah, so the story is basically about a man who lives in the city. It's a man who lives in
the city.
He lives in a city.
Riveting.
Riveting. And the city is kind of falling apart because there's it used to have these like rulers that kind of fell apart or disappeared because the city is actually diseased, because it's all actually like some kind of introspective nightmare of the man, and everything kind of represents his own kind of demons and that. It's probably very autobiographical, and I didn't even realise this, so you'll probably read it and be like, yeah, Shaun, you've got some issues. But like, nah, it's turned out like that, and it's all about, basically it's about this kind of demon guy, like who's like a disease, and he's like
called COVID.
Yeah, well, it's funny enough actually.
It's very similar to what's happened today.
No, I actually wrote this other piece. I started this other piece for just to kind of laugh. I was in a funny mood. It was before coronavirus kicked, even was a thing. It was last year I wrote this thing, and the idea of the other book, this isn't the one that I've really worked on that much. The idea of it was that it was like this really incompetent government dealing with like some kind of Armageddon like situation, and the book starts with this like big document that is like what they've issued to all the citizens, and so it's all, and it all starts with these like big long like abbreviations, but then after you get the sort of like what's the word I'm looking for? Abbreviation. So it's like it's called the Emergency Community. What was it? Community Safety Plan. Emergency Community Safety Plan. But then after the title, it's always referred to as ECSP. And then every single time it comes up with like another title or something, it just starts using the abbreviations on this document. So by the end of the document, it's got this fucking paragraph. Well, I thought it was really funny. I like literally sit and like I read it and giggle to myself, thinking, I'm so funny. Like in a almost like kind of Monty Python kind of way. It's like it has this paragraph where it's just like ECPS and the ECB of the PPF, and you go to the CE, and it's like it doesn't make any sense unless you've read the whole document, and it's just total nonsense. And I'm like, this sounds like the Tory government. But then when the whole fucking thing kicked off, I was like, I should print these off and just start handing them out to people, and then they'll be like, oh, that's look, Boris Johnson's handing out these leaflets and that.
Seems fair.
I'll send you it, actually. I'll send you it. It's
Go
fun.
for it.
It's funny.
It,
it's no long. It's just a beginning of an idea that I had. It's nothing to do with the book.
I like that idea because, as well as easy as it's become to sort of publish your own music and stuff, like in recent years, it's become really quite easy to get your own publishing as well for books.
I didn't know this.
Like Amazon books.
Well, yeah,
you can get like really short
yourself.
limited runs and stuff like that as well. Yeah. Which I think that's a great idea for like sort of new authors, limited run stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you can just do ebooks.
Ebooks as well.
You could publish them yourself on Amazon.
And audiobooks. It'd be quite easy for you to do an audiobook.
Would it? Oh, well, I could record it. I do really fancy that.
Sound effects
Listen to my voice. I'll get like Stephen Fry into do it or something.
That'd be good.
But
you got plenty of money for the money you've saved on the red.
Aye.
Stephen Fry can't cost that much.
No.
He'd be delighted.
A few million.
But it's just something fun I've been doing to occupy myself. And it's one of these things where I'm like, it's more like a cathartic thing where like I've got this idea in my head that I've not had a chance to work on it and like finish it off. So now I'm like racing to get it, not racing, but I'm like now like putting as much effort as I can into it to see how far I could take it before lockdown ends, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I got that out of the way and I don't have to worry about it. I'm not like, oh, I wish I got that more done. I don't know. It's just one of these things. I'd make myself feel guilty if I didn't do it. But it's probably never going to see the light of day. It's probably a load of shite. But I quite like reading it back now and again.
But confidence.
No, really though. Like it probably is. I didn't doubt it. I've never written. I've got no experience of it.
Well, that's the thing. If you're writing it for yourself, you're really only writing it for yourself now.
Oh, aye.
And if it happens later on to be sort of publishable.
Yeah.
Like, that's a fucking bonus, really.
Yeah, totally.
It seems to be. Was it? I thought you said something. I thought I heard like a wee bump. But aye, it's great you're doing that though.
It's good fun, man. I'll let you read it when I think I'm done. I've got I think the average novel size is like I think it's like between 80,000 and 120,000 words in that. So I'm well on the way for getting like a proper novel, because I'm only just kind of like halfway through the story, or maybe like a bit more than halfway through the story, and I've got like 50,000 words, and I reckon I'll be able to get another 30,000 easy, just to tell the story, and then I'm going to go over it and edit it and stuff, and like maybe add in bits, and especially the beginning, because when I started it was just like just type, and then
you have to go back and then like reread just in case you've forgotten and stuff?
Actually, because like I started this a few years ago. Literally a few years ago, and I had hardly added anything to it. It was just like I would dip into it every now and again and just like get high and just type because it was fun. And I not even like type that much because I wasn't even, I was just doing whatever. And then I didn't know where the fucking story was going, but like that's kind of how I write songs. Actually, I just kind of like let it all come out and then decide what it means afterwards, and then maybe add a couple of lines to like tie it all together. And that's kind of how the books went as well. So I find myself now like, well, certainly when I decided, like a couple of weeks ago, I was like, right, I'm going to get that fucking done. I'm going to like sit there most nights and like get into it. I started doing that, and then I ended up finding myself having to reread like most of it, because I was like, wait, who is that person again? Like, wait, what did they look like? I'm going to have to go back and I could change it, obviously, but what did I write before? You know what I mean? Like, what was the name of that river that I called again? And that was something that came up last night. Was it last night? No, the night before. I wasn't writing last night. The night before I was writing, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, there was a big river outside the city. And then I was like, what did I call that? And then I had to go and find it, like, way near the start, because I started describing the city and stuff, and I was like, and I'm like, where is it? And I actually hadn't called it anything. I just said, this big river or something. And I was like, well, now I'm going to put a name in there.
Well, that's where the genius comes to, like, things like Game of Thrones and stuff like that, like the books. Because it's just all about like him writing and then have to go back and check on things, and then he'll kind of
fill in the holes
and stuff like that. And so it's a cool wee thing.
Yeah, it'll be cool, man.
Like that
I think the story's quite groovy as well. I didn't want to reveal too much of what I think it's going to go like, but it's got a cool wee like. It's going to, I don't know. To me, it's a quite cool original kind of story. I think so. It's probably done tons of times before, but. So hopefully it works out, and then when I get to the end, like you say, I'll go over it and be like, oh well, that obviously never happened, like I'm going to have to change that, that's a plot hole, and I don't know.
It's something you'll be able to add out later, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then I'll get back to the music.
Excellent, son, excellent. Well, I think we're going to end there. Have you got anything to add, Craig? Anything you need to throw in? Nah? Cool, no bother. Instead of going through the shout-outs at the end, I'm just going to say all the links for everything is in the description. Because I feel like it's a waste of time going through that, because nobody listens for the links. Nah. The links are fucking there to click on.
Aye.
So I feel like it's a total waste of time, so we'll do that. Everything's down there. I'll put a link to your music and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. Nice one.
Anything we spoke about, I'll have to run through again, just to remember what we're talking about. And I'll try and find that video for what different accents sound like in English or something like that. So look for that as well. So again, thanks for coming in, Shaun. Much appreciated.
Thank you, man. I'll just say for anybody that's listening, if you actually like the album, give me a message and I'll send you it for free. Because you pay a couple of quid to download it or something, but I don't fucking care. Just so you know. Excellent, man. Excellent. Right, we're going to get into a tune. This is Stanley Odd. Actually, I was supposed to play Nick Shane's tune as well. Oh, yeah,
you remember Nick Shane,
yeah? He's amazing.
So I'll play two tunes for the first time after this. Ooh. So this will be Stanley Odd with FUWSH, and then let's go down here. Nature's Callings by the 121s and Nick Shane. This is so we're starting off with Stanley Odd here.
I had a nice soft question to get you going. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Stanley Odd is pop music, laughable, surface level rap rock, simple fake embarrassing.
I wish he'd take his cap off.
Not that real populist rhetoric. Anyone that's feeling it is not really getting it. Empty vessels, cultural piracy. Heavy retro, no finger on the pulse for the irony. Music, it makes me contemplate cutting off my ears, just weird. Well, hi friends, we're still here. It's sedated, most hated, honest guys. These mugs are blander than an instant coffee in a pocket styrene cup. Agitation propaganda, false rebellion, shades of grey music in a world that's Orwellian. Didn't they do that advert folks actually despised? Well, we did do that, aye, but we were contractually obliged. Inauthentic hip-hop and indie angst, weirdness in a Scottish accent, how can I unhear this?
Haters like copy into pioneer, hanging round to disappear, breathing into trying here, crying over spilt tears, fighting into kill fear.
I don't hate, I laugh like, hi friend, we're still here.
Copy into pioneer, hanging round to disappear, breathing into trying here, crying over spilt tears, fighting into kill fear.
I don't hate, I laugh like, the indie movement is blood and soil, is it? That'll mind you give it up. Isolatory remnants of deep ingrained prejudice from the economically illiterate SNP sycophants and an uneducated underclass that don't understand their predicament. Blind nationalist hacks playing follow the flag, and it's all part of Sturgeon's diabolical plan. It couldn't be about working class utterance or the merits of localised government. Reboot Project Fear. Well, hi friends, we're still here. The world is a cold place, don't expect any help. No one will have your back, best look out for yourself. Look after number one. Born alone, die alone, picking up the phone to call, but there's no dial tone. Community is a myth, public services should disappear, society's not real. With hi friends, we're still here in case you missed the point where we've been hanging off this precipice. Don't let the whammers get you down and don't dwell on the negative.
Haters like copy into pioneer, hanging round to disappear, breathing into trying here, crying over spilt tears, fighting into kill fear.
I don't hate, I laugh like, hi friends, we're still here.
Copy into pioneer, hanging round to disappear, breathing into trying here, crying over spilt tears, fighting into kill fear.
I don't hate, I laugh like.
Brothers, the lovers in and out of my head. Hey, my sisters, the ones who gave me love instead. Cold dark mornings, you feel another light year away. I'm nature's calling, so thankful that I've turned out this way. Cause I will pass you by, and won't even know why. Been buried 1,000 times, cause I'm no part of you. Happily growing old, without ever being told. It's been long enough to know that I'm no part of you. Bye-bye. Missing something that I'm too late to find. That something missing is something in the way of my mind. My beautiful mind. 'Cause I will pass you by, and won't even know why. Been buried 1,000 times, 'cause I'm no part of you. Happily growing old without ever being told. It's been long enough to know that I'm no part of you. Bye-bye. And we won't even know why. Been buried 1,000 times, 'cause I'm no part of you. Happily growing old without ever being told. Been long enough to know that I'm no part of you. This time will pass you by. We've forgotten the reasons why. Been walking 1,000 times, 'cause I'm no part of you. Damage beyond repair, while you're living without a care. So I'm no